how can someone get their arch back?
So the first thing you want to think about, there's 5 steps. I'm going to walk through this. 5 steps to restore your feet and ankles. And this is if your feet are quote unquote healthy, meaning you're not actively in pain. If you're actively in pain, it's still the step, but we may need to put like a step 1 sub-article A or sub-article B. So that's a process. If you have pain issues, it may just take a little bit longer, but it's still the same thing. Step 1, differentiate the toes. So think about your hand. Your hand and your feet generally came from the same thing. They've evolved. If I couldn't move my hand and I said, oh, my wrist hurts. Well, the first thing is like, let me peel these things apart, right? So what you want to do is something called a hand-foot glove. You literally take your fingers, you sit down and you put your fingers in through your toes. I guess no one can see that, but you literally go and you work your fingers in through your toes and you just sit there. Start with a minute as you're watching TV, whatever you're doing. You sit there and you just work. Oh, look at that. So you can do circles, you can go lateral, you can start to move, but feel these things. You're trying to differentiate your toes and get movement to that. Exactly, right? So think about this. Your
Chris
bones,
Duffin used to do this a lot. He actually did it about this. Yeah, he actually did it to me when I went up to his place.
You haven't let me in to. Oh, that's the next level. We're going to go get to the next level of relationship next.
It helped a lot with my squat. It took pain away from my knee.
As you guys are listening, you should do this. It feels amazing.
Unless you're driving, in which case, do it with one hand on the wheel. So what you think about is there are bones in the meat of the foot, the metatarsals, that should be pliable. And so we're starting to get motion to them. Toe spreaders can be good for this, but toe spreaders by themselves are not sufficient because they are just a passive way of moving and loading. If you were just using toe spreaders, what you end up doing is you just shove that open. Just like an arch and orthotic, it just says, hey, lift your foot up. But what you want to do is bring awareness to feel your toes and differentiate those. So first step is differentiate the toes. Start with that 60 seconds or 2 minutes a day each side. Just start to do that. It'll feel really painful at first. Your fingers are going to hurt. And yes, it's going to feel like that until it starts to open up. 2 or 3 times, you're going to feel better. Step 2, restore that big toe. If you think about your hand to your thumb, your big toe is to your foot, what your thumb is to your hand. So if I couldn't move, there's a camera. If your thumb was attached to the side of your hand and you couldn't move it, how much different would your hand function? That's what happens with that big toe. So we want to create that gap that between that big toe and the rest of the toes, a little bit more of that splay. So this is what I call the big toe thumbs up. You take down, so let's take your left foot, you take your right hand and you fold the little toes down. And then you take your left hand and you pull the big toe apart. And you just use that big toe like a joystick. And you just pull it left, you pull it across, you lift and you create your adduction and you pull. There you go. And then you lift and you start to work there. And start to feel that. And then as you can let go of your left hand and let hold those toes down, your goal is to be able to do a big toe thumbs up. So you flex your toe and you lift up and you extend those toes. So you're literally doing a thumbs up with your foot.
When people feel crampiness, what's that?
When your feet cramp, that is muscle confusion. And by muscle confusion, what I mean is that your brain does not know how to distinguish between all the muscles that are working and is therefore firing them all. And it seizes up, it spazzes. There's like Charlie horses, then there's cramps. And cramps are a great opportunity for your body to learn and reorient how it feels. So when you have cramps, don't come after me with technicalities of the exact words for this stuff. When you have cramps, understand that my body is confused about what to do. Therefore, I'm going to sit with that cramp, sit with it, and then squeeze and engage the muscles. And you're saying, hey, it's like when you have a kid, I don't have a kid, so I'm just going to speak for example, and you're trying to get them to load the dishwasher. And it's so painful because I just don't get that the knife shouldn't stick up. And it's like, whatever it is, it's like, you have to sit with them and just let them make that mistake. So sit with it. It will go away. Because that's muscle cramps. And when you have cramps, it's a great thing because that means your body's, something's working. Let me sit and learn from this, okay? Step 1, differentiate the toes. Step 2, restore the big toe. Step 3, we want to restore the arch and the muscles underneath the foot. So now, what I want you to think about is your pinky, so the balls of your feet, if you feel those. The ball that is connected to the big toe is called your first metatarsal phalange joint. Doesn't matter as much, but that's what it is. So you feel that. The ball on the outside of the foot is your 4th and 5th. So you're on the 4th and 5th. Andrew, will you pull up, Jamie, will you pull up this?
I'm on your Instagram, but do you have anything?
No, just do anatomy of foot, like bone, just foot anatomy.
This is Jamie, but better. His name is Andrew Zaragoza.
There you go, perfect. So the 4th and 5th metatarsal and the big toe. So we want to restore this rotation. So there are 3 arches, one on the inside of the foot called the medial longitudinal, one on the outside of the foot called the lateral longitudinal, and then one called the transverse that goes across. We want to restore the motion there. So you would literally, you see the pinky toes, that little, the bottom of the 4th and 5th metatarsal, so where the long bone goes right up to the toes, right in there, that's your metatarsal. So you shift your weight up to that, you pronate, so you shift your weight up on that, on your calves, you lift the big toe off the ground. So you're literally just in that position. And you can hold on to something to help balance. Then you shift all the way across.
A little more, Nsima, with like a little bit harder. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's a good.
You shift up so your foot is inverted. So the bottom is lifting up, your big toe's off the ground. Then you pronate across. You might want to be your feet a little hips wider. You shift across to your big toe, that first metatarsal, and then your heels are off, so your pinky toe's off the ground. Then you lower down your heels. You raise back up on that first metatarsal, that big toe, and you pronate all the way across, and you lower back down. So you're up on the pinky toe, big toe's off the ground, shift across, the big toe is on the ground, the pinky toes are off, and you lower back down.
Pat Project family, how's it going? We talk about sleep all the time on this podcast. That's why we partnered with 8 Sleep mattresses. Now, this mattress is the Tesla of sleep. It's the Tesla of beds. Its technology tracks your heart rate variability. It changes its own temperature based off the way you sleep so that you get better sleep every single night. It is quite literally insane. Check them out. Andrew, how do they get it?
Yes, and before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that you can actually set the bed to wake you up silently. I know that sounds weird, but actually the bed starts vibrating around your head and it doesn't wake up the entire household the way my phone used to do back in the day. So now I just kind of have the bed wake me up silently, and it's amazing. You guys got to head over to 8sleep.com/powerproject. That's EIGHT sleep.com/powerproject. When you guys go there, you'll see a banner across the top saying that you're going to receive $150 off automatically. So again, that's 8sleep.com/powerproject to receive $150 off your Pod Pro cover or your Pod Pro cover and mattress combo. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
Amazing.
There's all kinds of variations we could do to develop that, but that is essentially how we restore the motion around the bottom of the leg. So your fibularis peroneal muscles on the outside, posterior tibialis muscles on the inside, and you start to restore the arch underneath your foot.
And if you guys are just listening, we are showing this stuff on YouTube currently. So come over.
Literally right now. I don't know if it'll be when you're listening, but
and
right now
it'll be up on our YouTube channel too.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll have a video on this.
Step 4 is we want to restore the pronation on the top of the foot. So this is the extensor muscle. So everyone talks about tibialis now, it's all the rage, but there are multiple things there. Our extensor digitoris minimize, so that lift the toes up. We have an extensor for the big toe. We have a tibialis anterior, which lifts the whole foot up. We also have the tibialis posterior. So what we want to do is you would sit against the wall, and you can do this. You sit against the wall, put your hips against the wall, and do a Tib Raise, so where you lay and pull your toes up. But now you're just going to rotate. So you turn and put the outside bone of your foot, the 4th and 5th metatarsal, touch the ground, lift it back up, and then rotate. So it's like if you're leaning against the wall, you lift your foot up, and I put a lacrosse ball under the balls of your feet. And now I say, hey, touch the outside and the inside of your foot down, but don't touch the ball. You make an arc over the ball, back and forth. Now you do this with one foot, just do 25 to 50 reps, and you can even make partial ranges of motion. But what we're now restoring is the pronation to the ankle. And I'm getting that restored with the muscles that when I make contact, these muscles absorb force. So I'm pronating left and right. I'm lifting and I'm rotating back and forth, back and forth. That's step 4, because we want to get the bottom of the foot and then the top of the foot, the muscles that extend. And then step 5 is to integrate it all together. The best thing you could do is sled. So slow, sensual, feeling, love-making, just melting into the ground,
Make
sled
love
pushes.
to the ground, baby.
Exactly. And just imagine that voice in your head. You're walking, you're feeling, because we want to, none of this matters if I can't integrate and put my feet into the ground and feel that. So that's when you can go for a walk, so you can walk backwards, but a sled is very slow. You have to really push into the ground. That would be step 5, is put it all together. Now, if you have pain, if you have dysfunction, or the other pieces, that's what I've got as my Ready to Run program that spreads it apart into a 28-day process, because it's doing that. But from a healthy perspective, that right there restores your feet. And then when you restore your feet, it's a snowballing thing as long as your shoes don't impact your performance. In which case, if you are, like, let's say a team sport player, you're lifting, doing some barefoot jogging before and after, doing some of these foot exercises to go and get that, so the hand-foot glove and some of these things before and after, that'll restore the capacity. And when you do that, that gets your feet back on your brain's map. And then you'll be amazed at how much more you lift up and you feel connected and you're able to operate and orient that way. Does that make sense?
Makes absolute sense.
Yeah, it's great.
I was going to say, guys, when did you talk about gripping the ground and creating an artificial arch?
What's not an artificial arch?
Or not artificial, but creating.
One of the things, there's a great exercise called an arch builder. So if you think about this, if I were to grab something and make a fist, right? Essentially, when you make a fist, it's kind of what you're doing with the arch. But the difference in making a fist, so if I lift my foot up and I squeeze the toes, that's called, we call them foot crunches, right? Now, the difference of this, making a fist, and this, where I'm grabbing something, so if I pick up a water bottle, I'm connecting, I can make a fist and do this all day. But if I connect that to a surface and I pick something up, that connects it to the rest of my body, my shoulders, my core, everything else. Now, what you can do is when you stand, take your toes, so you put 3 points of contact, heel, pinky toe, big toe. And then I take the toes and I grab the ground. And I literally, it helps if you're on a carpet, if you're on a t-shirt, or like a balled up t-shirt, or if you're on turf or something that kind of gives you things to grab. Just sit there, and then you make this, you short and you lift the foot up. So you literally just squeezing and grabbing the ground, and it's called arch builders. You're picking up just over and over and over and over again and doing sets of 25 and 50. Those will turn it on. So before you lift, if you can find something, squeeze and grab and engage. You can even do this in your shoe, but that's what you feel the glutes engage. You start to turn that on, and that's when you start to really feel engaged. And that's like, you feel like, fuck yeah, I'm grounded. I want to explode. I want to do all this shit.
Hey, wait, before you go, you got this far. That means that you've enjoyed the heat that we're continuing to bring you. So listen, like the video, comment something down below. We'll reply back, and subscribe to the channel because we continue to bring you the heat. Seriously, do it. Love you. Bye.